Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Lee Pitts Live, and you are looking live at a spectacular setting here in Fort Myers, Florida. The sweet science has returned. Yes, boxing. And when we talk boxing, we're talking about none other than Larry Willis, and we're here at the 3rd annual Larry Willis Classic. Of course, Larry Willis is a legendary boxing coach in our community, a part of Team Willis. It is being put on by Team Willis and Bridging the Gap. We have already witnessed about 5 fights, and they've all been outstanding, and they've received their belts. 3 of the belts were sponsored by Lee Pitts Live, who is a sponsor of this again this year. So without further ado, let's get to these well-dressed men who are called ring announcers. You've seen them on TV. Let's get ready to, I can't say the rest, they might sue me. I heard there's some copyright there. Well, come get me, make me famous. Let's get ready to rumble. And if you come after me to sue me, you're just gonna make me famous. All right, here we go. Let's start off. Let's go over and get your full name and just how you enjoying today's experience.
Well, thank you, Lee, for sponsoring this tournament. My name is Angelo Vaughn, and back in the day, I used to box, and I still enjoy boxing. It is a sweet science, and just the fact that these young boxers are getting out here, learning how to be disciplined, learning how to be great athletes, good athletes, and just be an asset to the community by coming out here and just participating in a good, clean, it's fun, it's family-orientated, and I love the fight game.
And you are here local, right?
Yes, sir. We're here locally. Yes, sir.
When I know you. I don't know if you're still doing it or retired by now, but you're in law enforcement.
Yes, sir. I'm a lieutenant with the Lee County Sheriff's Office.
These kids like this who participate in sports like this, they are the ones that rarely get in trouble, isn't it?
We very rarely have any incidents like that. As a matter of fact, we have a young boxer that is boxing for the Lee County Sheriff's Office, and I will have the honor to introduce him after intermission.
Okay, so you've seen a lot of children be influenced by exercise and sports, and they're going to be good citizens.
Absolutely, because it's not only it's a team sport, but you're learning a lot about who you are, because in the real world, you're going to take those punches. In the real world, you're going to get knocked down, so you got to get back up.
You are a ring announcer today. What is a ring announcer?
The ring announcer is, I'm one of the gentlemen that will get out there and say, in the blue corner, boxing out of whatever gym they're in the red corner, boxing out of whatever gym they're boxing out of, and at the end, we'll announce the winner, whether it be the red corner or blue corner.
What do you guys have to do to get me over there to do one of those? Just one of them. Can I do one? I mean, that'll be the highlight of my life.
Lee, I think
I
you
can
can
just
handle
say
it.
in the blue corner.
I think you can do it. I know you could.
Are you local?
So I actually just moved to Denver about a year ago, but I'm a former Army Special Forces. I didn't start boxing until I was in my late 30s.
Okay.
So I started at Team Willis.
Oh, really?
And, so I've known Larry since I moved to Fort Myers in 2014. I lived here for 8 years. I founded Shoot Center Cape Coral, the gun range in the Cape, and moved to Denver. So I came into town specifically for this event. One of the boxers here today, Vladimir Sanchez, great kid. I watched him grow up in the gym, and you watch that metamorphosis, talking about boxing, right? I mean, as a fighter, you have to be able to control your emotions. And as a young man, same thing.
Special forces, though.
Boxing gym's a great place to learn how to control your emotions.
So you're a ring announcer as well?
Absolutely.
Now, did you guys know each other before today?
We did. Matter of fact, he was one of our first customers a long time ago, years ago.
When you say first customer, what do you mean?
So when we opened Shoot Center, we invited Lee County, FMPD, and people that work within the government to come for our soft opening. So I can't remember if you bought anything that day or not, but later on you did.
We did.
Is Shoe Center still here?
Yes, sir. It's still open.
And people can go, you're owning it still?
I'm no longer an owner. I separated and moved to Colorado. But it's still in business, and in my opinion, it's still the safest gun range in Florida, hands down.
Okay, so there you go. So talk about this particular experience here today. You've seen some of these over the years. How are we stacking up here in Fort Myers today?
I mean,
with today's event?
This, for an amateur event, this is really fantastic. And I love ringside announcing, so this is super fun for me. And you bring a little extra energy into the ring. It pumps the fighters up. They get excited. Everybody else gets excited. You get excited, right? So I just think it's a lot of fun. And I flew in really because I wanted to announce Vladimir's fight. Because like I said, I watched him grow up in the gym, you know, so it's been really fun seeing that happen.
Let's talk about something important. Where you get the Michael Jackson jacket from? That's what
you really want me to tell you? Amazon. That's where everything comes from these days. Amazon, in case you didn't know that.
Well, you guys were dapper. And talk about you, man. You looking spiffy there.
Well, I'm going to make a pitch to my friend Debbie Selly and black tie because this is where I got my tuxedo. This is my tux along with the shoes. Lee, as you well know, it's all about the shoes.
Right. But what's so great about both of you is that I spotted y'all from afar, and I told Larry, I said, they are bringing class to this.
Thank you.
When you see them, you know that this is big time. And I'm glad that you guys took time out to put on the proper haberdash to raise the standards of it. And now it's going to be hard to be topped. Yeah. What you got? I mean, you just look so classy, man.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you.
Next time you got to get a little pocket square.
I'll take care of my pocket square. Yes, sir.
We're now at intermission, right, Ringmaster?
Yes, sir.
Tell people we've already seen 10 fights.
10 fights.
And we come back, going to see 10 more?
We're going to see 10 more. We have to call them bouts in amateur boxing.
Okay.
But yes, we got 10 more left on the card, and we've saved a couple of the best for last. So it's going to be
bouts,
good.
people, bouts.
Yeah, got to call them bouts.
Do you have one so far that you really enjoyed the most, any particular bout? Or it's so hard to remember?
I've watched these bouts, Lee, and I've enjoyed each and every one of them because these young men put in a lot of work. Again, I used to box back in the day. There's a lot of work that goes into it. So win or lose, I'm impressed with all of them, sir.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I noticed win or lose, the sportsmanship in boxing is so profound on how they hug each other. They walk out the ring together, and they show appreciation to each one for giving them some good work.
Yes, sir.
Talk about sportsmanship in boxing.
Well, sportsmanship is important because when you're learning good sportsmanship, it carries with you outside of the ring. And I'm sure Aaron will piggyback on this. When you're showing good sportsmanship, it shows you are a class act. It shows you have good upbringing. It shows you have very good coaching, and you are self-disciplined. That's why it's important to have good sportsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
Want to add to that?
No, absolutely. Whether you win or whether you get humbled, there's growth there depending on how you take those punches and how you get over that loss. So absolutely.
You said early on people didn't lose that. You said you used to be in special forces.
I was for 10 years, yeah.
That's military?
Army Green Beret, yeah.
And then you got into boxing as a part of what you did?
Just trying to stay in shape. You know, find a reason to stay in shape. I didn't really do combat sports in the Army at all. It was all shooting. It was all combat-focused skills. If you're in a boxing match, something's horribly wrong, right?
Hand to hand.
In the military, the focus is more on using the tools and less using your hands. A little bit, but I didn't really understand, you know, until I got into a boxing gym. I learned about the power of rotation. Oh, man, opened up a whole new world. Once you understand how to generate power through rotation, man, it's a lot of fun.
Wow. And in law enforcement, do you find that a lot of law enforcement officers like to have that hand-to-hand experience or used to have that kind of background?
Well, I can speak for myself because I'm also a wrestler. I wrestled in the Law Enforcement Olympics, and I've used it.
You do it all.
I do enough.
Well, he's a badass.
And I worked out with members that was on the United States Marine Corps team when I was in the Marines. So I wrestled with guys. But it helps you on the street in the event. You have to go hand-to-hand with someone. But
Confidence,
yes.
Yep.
yeah.
Because you're out there by yourself a lot, potentially, right?
Yes.
Right.
And so I know I didn't share this with you. I think I might have shared it with you. 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, I boxed Golden Gloves back in Birmingham.
Wow.
As a little kid, I was swimming simultaneously at the rec center. You do everything.
Yes.
And then they pulled me into the boxing room. And people who know me as a boxer too, as a young boxer who've seen pictures of me, they see the six-pack and everything. And they asked me, you don't know this, but I became a pretty well-known swimmer after that. But they always asked me which one was the toughest, swimming or boxing.
Which one?
All that swimming, it easily was boxing. Was
okay.
the toughest.
You had me worried for a second.
Yeah, and I tell people, they say, why? people who know about it, I had an extensive boxing background. Especially when I was a kid, I was doing both. Boxing, the moment you walk into that room, you have to stay moving the whole time you're in that boxing room. If you let coach look over at you or that trainer, you either doing jumping jacks, sit-up, beating the bag, jogging in place, shallow boxing. The whole hour, 2 hours we in that room, and that used to be like unbelievable because you know we're trying to cheat over in the corner.
Don't be sitting down. Don't be sitting down in the gym.
But it's so obvious when you're in the room with all the other people moving if you stop moving. And I was in top physical condition, but I didn't appreciate it at the time. I was just a little kid. Everybody else looked like they were fit too, but when I look at the old pictures, I know.
Yes.
And swimming, there's no sparring. To me, sparring was harder than those little rounds in the ring.
Right. But Lee, you have to admit, as a swim coach like yourself, because I also swim, you've got to keep moving. You're working everything. You're moving your arms, your legs, and somewhere in there, you need to breathe.
Yeah, you're getting that cardio in swimming, but you don't have an opponent.
Which is good.
That's right.
Water is your opponent.
Yeah, and if you're really good, like me, I still swim about a mile a day right now.
We could box in a swimming pool, right? That could be a whole new thing, box in the swimming pool.
Ooh, yeah. Let me share something with you guys before I let you go. The Willis boys, they were part of my legendary swimming program at the Stars Complex. They were part of my championship swim team back in the early 90s. I coached some championship swim teams over there. And the Willis boys at the time, Marcus, Quentin, and Larry, and then the dad is Larry Jr. They all were, 9, 8, and 7 years old. And they would have boxing practice inside Stars, and then it's on Saturday. And after boxing practice, they come to swim lessons. And then my swim lesson kids went to boxing practice. And then my martial arts kids came to swim lessons. So we had a rotation going on. Abdul-Haq Muhammad was doing martial arts. Quality Life Center wasn't invented at the time.
Mr. Muhammad.
And Larry Goldie. They were teaching martial arts at Stars. That was back in the early 90s. And I was at the pool out there. So we all got together so that the kids could come to all three. We scheduled them so it can be a rotating thing. Because
cool.
Some of them were sneaking out of boxing practice, coming to swimming. And some of them were sneaking out of martial arts, coming to swimming. They all wanted to come to swimming. Because that's fun in that cool water. And so we worked it out because they would be coming out there dragging them into practice. Long story short, here's what I learned from teaching swimming. I had taught swimming for many years before I started teaching here, and I was a competitive swimmer. Is that the boxers and the martial arts kids, they learn swimming just like that. And I was asking myself why. It is because of the discipline and the techniques. Swimming requires a lot of techniques, elbows in certain places, legs in certain places, and everything moving at the same time in a coordinated way to get your breath. If you're doing a breaststroke, you got to put you're almost like a ballerina with the whip kick. If you're doing a butterfly with the dolphin kick. All of that stuff, back crawl, everything is technique. Boxing, technique. Martial art, technique. You can't just go out there willy-nilly. You get your techniques, then you can go from there. A lot of sports don't require you to be that technically sound. Like you take a cat who can run, sure you can make him run better, but if he fast, he come out there and outrun you with no technique.
Well, also wrestling, boxing, and swimming, those are not team events, really. I mean, you might swim with a team of folks, but you're swimming by yourself. It's you versus the water, really.
That's a good point. Individual. Well, gentlemen, I got a chance to get that off my chest. I'm going to let y'all get back to work. I appreciate y'all stopping by.
Absolutely. It was fantastic. Thank you very much, Lee.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Lee, and thank you, Lee County, for putting this together for us, and let's just keep doing what we're doing.
Anybody want to think?
I would just say, if you're watching, consider supporting Bridging the Gap of Southwest Florida. It's a fantastic organization with a fantastic cause. So if you haven't supported them yet, please come out. Come out to the next Larry Willis event and just watch. Even if you're not into boxing, just come out and watch and support the boxers.
There we go. So remember, Miami might have the oranges, but the Larry Willis annual boxing classic has got the juice. We'll be right back. Hello everybody, this is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show, and if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch Lead Pits Live on demand anytime. And also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lead Pits Live, and there you go.